Yo, it is good, yo. It's your boy Ty back here with our first episode in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM of our start, bench, and cut series. Now, I don't know why I said start, bench, drop in this. It's still start, bench, cut, okay, guys? I just misworded the tweet. Now, this year's a little bit different because there's not a massive difference between current gen and next gen, so I'm going to be talking about most of the same things. Now, for example, if there's a player that I think is much better on one gen or the other, I might make an exception. But for the most part, I mean, current gen and next gen are pretty similar. Now, before we dive any deeper into this today, if you are new to my channel and have not yet, please consider smashing the subscribe button as we are on the road to 80,000 subscribers. My first one comes in from Cold World, which I do a lot of gameplays on his account. So massive shout out to my boy. It says D-Rose, Kyrie, or CP3. Now, start D-Rose no matter what. And the difference between Kyrie and CP3 is actually pretty close. So if we compare the two, right, on 2K database, here's the thing that you guys are going to see, right? It's not necessarily a simple thing because I had these guys back to back on my point guard, I think top 10 list. Obviously, Kyrie's a little bit taller. I think Kyrie's release is better. Kyrie's a better offensive player. But I think Chris Paul gives you more. You look at Chris Paul's defense, his lateral quickness. I just like Chris Paul that little bit more. So I'm going to start D-Rose, bench Chris Paul, and cut Kyrie Irving. Our next one comes in from Rufio. Says TJ Warren, Bron, or Kawhi. Now, throw TJ Warren out the picture. He's not even close. But when you compare LeBron James to Kawhi Leonard, I think it's very close. I really do. I don't know if there's a definite answer here. Bron's a little bit wider, a little bit taller, a little bit of better player model. Well, I'll take Kawhi as far as an on-ball defender just a little bit more. So I think it's really close. I think the way I lean is starting Bron, benching Kawhi, and cutting TJ Warren. We're going to run through all of these real quick, okay? Draymond, Serge, or Siakam at the power forward position. At the power forward position, I'm going to start Dre, bench Serge, cut Siakam. Small forward position, TJ Warren, Darius Miles, Gerald Wallace. Ooh, this is an intriguing one to me. That small forward is really loaded, really tough. The way I'd probably lean is start Darius Miles, benching Gerald Wallace, cutting TJ Warren. Just my personal preference. Shooting guard position, LaMelo Ball, Daryl Griffith, or Ray Allen. I'm going to start Griffith, bench Ray Allen, cutting LaMelo Ball. And at the point guard position, we got Van Vliet, Irving, and Bob Cousy. I'm going to start Van Vliet, bench Cousy, cut Kyrie Irving. All on current gen, that's the way I go. But a lot of those, especially the small forward and point guard position, are super close. Shooting guard next gen, we got Richie Guerin, Marquez Johnson, and Terrence Ross. Oof. I think I gotta start my man Richie Guerin, bench Terrence Ross, and cut Johnson. I'm just not a massive fan of what Johnson gives me. Here we got one from my man Ned. He said Nash, Fred VanVleet, or Bob Cousy. I'm gonna start Fred VanVleet no matter what, just because he's my man with the plan. Gonna bench Bob Cousy, cutting Steve Nash. But again, Steve Nash isn't bad. It's more of a personal preference type question. Here we get one from King Me Glitch, Peja Stojakovic, Glitch Darius Miles, or Pascal Siakam for playing the 4. Darius Miles is miles ahead of Peja Stojakovic and Pascal Siakam, but the way I would have these is starting Darius Miles, benching Pascal Siakam, and cutting Peja Stojakovic. I'm sorry, but that release, with as slow as it is, doesn't cut it for me. Interesting one from TBD, because we're including Julius Irving in this question at the small forward position. Irving, Wallace, or Darius Miles. All these guys are close. I'm going to start Julius Irving at the small forward position, bench Darius Miles, and cutting Gerald Wallace. Again, super close. It just depends on what you want your small forward to give you. Les says Kyrie, Stephon Marbury, and De'Aaron Fox. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to compare Stephon Marbury to De'Aaron Fox because, listen, man, both these cards are absolutely incredible, and they're pretty similar, right? 79 3-ball compared to a 76. Fox is a little bit faster, but a little better lateral quickness. On the flip side of things, Marbury's release, I think, is a little bit better, a little faster. You could go either way between Marbury and between Fox. I think you can honestly go either way. The difference between them is not much. I still have Kyrie a little bit ahead of them, so I'm going to start Kyrie. If I had to pick, I'm going to bench Fox and cut Marbury, but that's such a close debate. Here we got 4 from PJ, okay? He says Daryl, Mitch, Griffith, or Carr, okay? And this is super interesting. I'm going to just throw Griffith out the picture. Griffith is at the very, very end of my thing. Now, so it's down to Dale, Mitch, and Carr. So if you got those 3, Dale's the best pure shooter, Mitch is the best offensive threat, and Carr is the best defender. If you're gonna give me these three, the way I'd have them right now as it stands, start Dale, bench Carr, cut Mitch. That's just as it stands today. Again, those three are all interchangeable. It depends what you want them to give you. You could have Mitch over Carr. I think Dale Chicken Man Ellis is the man with the plan though. One from Drex here, Chicken Man, Duncan Robinson, Jason Richardson, or Terrence Ross. Oof. Okay, our first Jason Richardson question here, and I do like Jason Richardson and what he can give you, especially shooting the ball defensively. Leaves a little bit desired, but let's just straight up compare Terrence Ross to Jason Richardson, right? Terrence Ross has a little worse release, a little worse 3-ball. Jason Richardson's a little bit faster, a little bit quicker. So I don't see any scenario in which I'm taking Terrence Ross above Jason Richardson. So then the next question is, where does Duncan Robinson come in on this question? I'm going to start Jason Richardson no matter what. Cut bench Duncan Robinson and cut Terrence Ross. More than anything, I just don't love Terrence Ross's release. He's fine. I use him in the draft mode, but I still would prefer Duncan Robinson. Here one from Totally Not Alex, Amy Van Vliet, Diamond Irving, or Diamond Iverson. I kind of exposed this on my point guard top 10 list, but for me, start Iverson, bench Van Vliet, cut Irving. Small forward position, Glenn, Kawhi, and Gus the Bus. This is a loaded question because I love every single one of these players, and it's gonna pain me to do this. I'm gonna start Kawhi, bench Glenn, and cut Gus the Bus. I love Gus the Bus so much, but he's a power forward to me. So if we're talking a small forward position, that's what I'd have. One from my man Mark here, Serge Ibaka, Mitchell Robinson, and Chris Boucher. Serge Ibaka is miles ahead of Mitchell Robinson and Chris Boucher. So it really comes down to, do I think Chris Boucher is better than my man Mitchell Robinson? And the answer to that question is, I think I'd take Mitchell Robinson because Chris Boucher is going to get absolutely bullied by some of the inside centers like Will, whereas Mitchell Robinson can match up a little bit. So start Serge Ibaka, bench Mitchell Robinson, cut Chris Boucher. Here we one from Ravioli Randy. Nice name. Cat Blake Ibaka at the 5. If we're talking at the 5, at the center position, what I'd first recommend you guys do is compare Karl Anthony Towns to Serge Ibaka. Okay, that's really what it is. And this is going to be an intriguing one because I like one of the players better on current gen and one of the players better on next gen. If I'm on current gen, I'm starting Cat, benching Ibaka, and cutting Blake Griffin. No. If I'm on current gen, I'm going to start Cat, bench Blake, cut Ibaka because you don't get bullied as much. On next gen, whereas, I'm going to start Ibaka, I'm going to bench Cat, and cut Blake. I know it's completely different whether you're current or next, but at the center position, more than anything, I think that's where the most change is going to be. Here's one from Zach. Wilt, Serge, Bosh. Wilt, you're going to start no matter what. Serge and Bosh is super, super close. I'm going to bench Bosh and cut Serge. But for MT's sake, guys, just please keep Serge instead of Bosh. If you have Wilt and Serge, there's no reason to get Chris Bosh. Cat, Mitchell Robinson, Gobert. Start Cat, bench Gobert, and cut Mitchell Robinson. Gobert and Mitchell Robinson are basically going to give you the same thing. I just think Gobert is a little bit better. Here you go one with Luka Griffith, or Marquez Johnson at the 2. Look, Griffith, you got to start. Between Luka and Marquez Johnson, yeah, I mean, I don't like either of them. I really don't. Since your name's Luka Goat 2K, just bench Luka. Keep him around. If you like Luka, you can have fun playing with the card. Here's one with Tim Duncan, Ibaka, and Bosh at the 5. If you're on current gen, do not run Tim Duncan. I don't think it's worth it because you're not going to get bullied with a Bosh or Ibaka. If you're on next gen, I'd go start Bosh. I'd still bench Ibaka and cut Tim Duncan. I can't run Tim Duncan over Ibaka. I just can't. I can't get myself to do that. I think here we see our first one with Danny Granger, but we got Kawhi and Glenn Robinson. Look, if you have these three guys, I'd recommend just moving Glenn or Granger to that power forward position. How I'd rank these guys today, start Kawhi, bench Glenn, cut Granger, but I mean, Granger and Glenn are literally identical players. It's so tough between those two. Here you one from Denver, my man. Denver, Griffith, Wade, and Carr. Here we go. Okay, here we go. All three of these guys are not bad. I'm going to say this. All three of these guys are not bad. Wade's an interesting one, right? Because Wade, I feel like, doesn't get talked about enough. But if you have these three, I'm still going to start Carr. I'm actually going to bench Wade and cut Griffith. And Griffith is not bad, but I just think Carr and Wade give you a little bit more. Here's one from Ragin that I've thought about before, right? If we're talking a small forward position, can Carr play the small forward position? The answer to that question is yes. Do I prefer him over Kawhi and LeBron? The answer is no. So I'm going to start Bron, bench Kawhi, and cut Carr. Interesting one from ZUI here. Amethyst Cat, Amethyst Dwight, Ruby Dikembe. If you're on next gen, I'm going to... next gen is so tough because Cat's going to get bullied. Still going to start Cat, bench Dwight, and cut Ruby Dikembe. Current gen is not close. Cat is by far the best center. Start Cat, bench Dwight, and still cut Ruby Dikembe. At the 2 here, we got Michael Cooper, ML Carr, and Dale Ellis. Okay, I've already said I like Dale Ellis over ML Carr, but how does Michael Cooper fit into this equation here, right? Is Michael Cooper better than Carr? The answer to that question is I don't think so. Michael Cooper is still very solid all the way around. I don't think anybody's going to argue that. But outside of shooting the ball, I just think ML Carr gives you a little bit more. So start Dale Ellis, bench Carr, cut Cooper. One from Hayden that's really interesting here, okay? He says Kawhi, Carr, and Walt. Now, Hoop has a good point. Walt can't play the 3, right? So he said, I'm just saying just as like pure locks. So Kawhi, Carr, and Walt. If you're talking about pure locks, Carr's the best pure lock in the game. I do not care. As far as guarding the opposing point guard, I think I'll take Carr. Start Carr, bench Kawhi, and cut Walt Frazier. Our last one here is Diamond Dikembe, Diamond Shaq, and Pink Diamond Walt. Now, I say this. For the majority of you guys, I'm going to start Dikembe Mutombo. That's who I prefer the most, starting Dikembe Mutombo. Then it's the Shaq versus Wilt debate. Now, there's one thing I want you guys to look at. Shaq should be better than Wilt Chamberlain. He should be, right? If you look at the badges, look at the stats, he should be. But this 78 stamina literally feels like a 50, and that's a big problem. And if you look at badges, some things I want you guys to notice here, okay, for Wilt Chamberlain is the Hall of Fame pogo. It is so hard to get stops on centers on next gen. I'm going to tell you guys to bench Wilt and cut Shaq. That's how it is. Start Dikembe, bench Wilt, cut Shaq. All right, that is going to wrap it up for today's episode of our Start, Bench, and Cut series. Again, if you didn't see your exact one in this video today, I do want to apologize. I tried getting, the center position, power forward, small forward, shooting guard, point guard. Tried getting a little bit of everything again. If you have any other questions, guys, I'm going to be dropping my top 10 position videos throughout the week, so hopefully that can answer a lot of your questions. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video and did find it somewhat helpful. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys, and have a blessed day.